Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather. In this update, we've got a rare September storm that's going to be taking an unusual path. Welcome back everyone, how's it going? This is your morning update. I appreciate all my followers out there and my new followers. So if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns on North America and the tropics, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get all my daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. So let's get right to the satellite picture this morning. We're going to be taking you all the way out here in the Western Pacific. This is our next storm system. In fact, right now it's 962 millibar low pressure. This is a typhoon that is now going to be turned into an extra tropical system. And there's another area of concern back behind that one, which is another typhoon down to a 973 millibar low pressure. But by the time we get into Friday, this is going to be rapidly accelerating and deepening all the way down to a 942 powerful extra tropical system, bringing extreme winds into portions of the Aleutian Islands and dumping some heavier rain on the western side of Alaska, and then some snow as well in the interior region with all that colder air. And back behind it, we've got that developing typhoon that's going to be rapidly deepening as well down to a 941 millibar low pressure. That is expected to make impact to South Korea by the time we get into Saturday. So if we expand the view, you can actually see this formidable eye up here into portions of the Aleutian Islands just on the western flank of Alaska. By the time we get into Friday, that is a developing powerful system that's going to be bringing some heavier wind gusts, hurricane force wind gusts, and some heavier rains, and then snow in portions of Alaska. But all the way down here into the Caribbean, we've got newly developed tropical storm Fiona. And depending on the exact track of this system, will actually help influence the track of where Fiona may be going in the future because of the pressure gradients. It's kind of like a seesaw. So what happens on one side of the world affects what happens on the other side of the world. So let's kind of zoom in and take a look at this, because man, we got some powerful waves we're going to be dealing with. If you look at the chart on the right hand corner of the screen, all those areas in whites there, you're talking upwards to 70 feet waves, topping out potentially at 88 feet. This is a pretty powerful storm that's going to be impacting the Aleutian Islands on the western side of Alaska there. So if we actually zoom in and take a look at some of these wind gusts, yeah, we could be talking about hurricane force wind gusts pounding on the western side of Alaska with some very heavy rain, intense rain bands, and then snow into portions where it's going to be cold enough to snow. In fact, it's some pretty healthy amounts, if not blizzard conditions in some of these areas up here in portions of Alaska. So this is definitely a powerful system. So what's going to happen is this is going to help influence and spin off another vorticity. So this vorticity is going to be swinging north of Alaska, but by the time we get into Saturday afternoon, we've got another developing trough that's going to be diving down and pinwheeling from this one, going to be diving down into the Pacific Northwest, bringing a lot of colder air and more unsettled weather. And this vorticity will be getting its act together as well and start to rapidly deepening. So by the time we get into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, this is going to be a formidable storm that's going to be impacting Central California, Northern California, parts of Oregon with some heavier winds and some rain. Yeah, we're talking rain, folks. Compliments of this system for Central, California, Northern California, all those, some of the areas in the Pacific Northwest with this powerful system. We see potentially Lester down here in the Eastern Pacific, and there's tropical storm Fiona that just got upgraded from a tropical depression yesterday. So let's take you through the overall wind pattern, because you can actually see what's really happening here as this comma Q shape, this U-shaped type trough that's going to be digging down, pulling all that colder air from Alaska and then bringing it all the way into Central California with some higher wind gusts and some heavier rains. Yeah, we're talking heavier rains for a good chunk of Central, California and parts of Northern California. So it's a rare setup for September standards for California for sure. And that is going to be helping influence what the overall steering currents where the outcome of where Fiona is going to be overall ending up. So you can definitely see it on the 500 millibar. When we pull down all that colder air, we got that rapidly deepening low pressure center right off the coast of Northern California, while the rest of the country deals with the ridge, where we're talking a lot of heat that's going to be building into the midsection of the country, and that's going to be shifting off into the eastern parts of the country. 2/3 of the country is going to be experiencing well above average temperatures in the week ahead, if not some record-breaking temperatures as well. So, but if you zoom in into that storm system, yeah, we could be talking about a formidable 999 millibar low pressure system. That's nothing to sneeze at, guys, and that's going to bring some heavier rains into portions of, again, central California, portions of Northern California, as well as parts of Oregon here, while the rest of the country is kind of dealing with that ridge of high pressure going to be locked over a good chunk of the country. And if we definitely zoom into some of these potential rain amounts, it's a nice sight to see, with all that heavier rain starting to spread into portions of California. I know I had a lot of comments, hey, where's the rain? I need some rain in California. I got it for you in Southern California. Now we're talking Central and Northern California. So I got the whole state covered for you guys. I know you've been on bone dry lately, but yeah, it's a combination of these tropical type systems, or these extra tropical type systems, are going to be bringing some rain and some heavier rains to your area. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for some heavier rain starting to move into portions of, I would say, Sunday afternoon going into Monday, and I think they're probably going to be winding down as we get into Tuesday. So, but definitely some healthier rains on the way for a good chunk of portions of Oregon, especially into Northern California, getting into Central California. But now let's take a look at the overall Fiona. So this is newly developed tropical storm Fiona that just got upgraded yesterday. Now it's, or this morning, now it's going to be a 50 mile per hour tropical system that's going to be continue to remain pushed westbound with this high pressure center locked over Bermuda, right? And so now we've got tropical storm warnings into portions of the Leeward Islands, and that's going to continue westbound and directly affect Puerto Rico by the time we get into about 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. You can see the chart. The latest update from the National Hurricane Center right now has it a 50 mile per hour tropical storm expected to slowly intensify to potentially a 60 mile per hour tropical storm. So the main impact from this system for the island is just going to be a very heavy rain, because it's going to be bringing a lot of deep, water content values in these areas, and these rain amounts could be 2 to 3, upwards to almost 4 inches per hour at times, crashing into Puerto Rico, crashing into the Dominican Republic, as well as the portions getting into portions of Turks and Caicos. So if we kind of zoom into some of these preliminary areas, yeah, this could be swinging across portions of Puerto Rico, going to be impacting portions of the Dominican Republic with very heavy rain. I think Jamaica is just on the outskirts of this system, because it's going to be traveling north of the Dominican Republic and eventually heading out into the Turks and Caicos and potentially portions of the Bahamas by the time we get into your Tuesday, say Wednesday time frame. Could be centered over portions of the Bahamas right there. So this whole area, I would say, from Puerto Rico to the Leeward Islands to Puerto Rico to Dominican Republic to Hispaniola to Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, portions of the Bahamas here, be on high alert from this system, just from some very heavy rainfall going to be impacting those areas. But where's it going beyond that? So if we take a look at all the model guidance, right? So if we take a look at the summary, the only bullish guidance has it steering into the Gulf is the Canadian model, and that is definitely an outside guidance. Most of the models have it influenced with the steering currents and pushing it out to sea. So it's got a lot of road to cover over the next 5 days or so, but a lot of guidance is trying to push it more towards the northern branch, and right now it's riding this ridge of high pressure, but once the ridge of high pressure sneaks, there's not much high pressure here, it'll sneak up and potentially pull it further north, and then that would eliminate any direct impact for the East Coast, as this will more than likely be going out to sea. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update while I protect you before and after the storm.